myself short today. Feels like I fell 1,000 times. Nothing but doubt to flood my mind. 'Cause sometimes it's hard to remember why I ever started racing with my dreams. A restless December, feeling I was meant for more than I believed. I'll never surrender, rather try and fail and fall 1,000,000 times. I'm on my way. I'm on my way. I know as close as I am now, I will struggle, I will shout. There's no stopping, there's no doubt. I'm on my way. There's no stopping, there's no doubt. I'm on my way. I swear I meant to do this. I'm told that love would never lie. Where my head has met my heart and they are beautifully aligned. But sometimes it's hard to remember everything I've done that's brought me to this space. I started with embers, now a raging fire is burning in its place. I'll never surrender, rather try and fail and fall 1,000,000 times. I'm on my way. I'm on my way. I know as close as I am now, I will struggle, I will shout. There's no stopping, there's no doubt. I'm on my way. There's no stopping, there's no doubt. I'm on my way. I know as close as I am now, I'm on my way.
All right, let's mulligan this one. Haven't had to do that in a very long time, but hey, why not? Feel pretty lousy. Feel basically burning up at this point. We'll see what happens, and probably not be able to go to work tomorrow as a result of this, if nothing gets any better between now and this time tomorrow. Actually, a few hours before this time tomorrow. That's when we'll make the call. We'll figure it out. What is up, everybody? This is Jay, aka MultimediaJay, nerding it up on a Saturday night after running into a numbers nerd post from somebody who I don't normally see, poking around in numbers, Zach Bussey. He's more of like covering news and stuff along those lines. But he recently did today actually, he posted a little something called Twitch is top heavy. And I'm over here like, you think? So there's a lot of stuff that's going on, and depending on what happens, I have videos to work on and some game streaming to do. I am hopelessly falling behind in MMOs to the point where I was playing some Final Fantasy last night. I have to do a lot of leveling jobs and classes in Final Fantasy in order to get to the point where I can go into Shadowbringers and not have this mess that I currently have in the armory chest with too many classes and jobs that are too far apart from each other. So I have that, With World of Warcraft, I have Shadowlands sight unseen at this point because I wanted to finish the story of BFA first and unlock the Cultirans for my next from the next Altaholic alt. I didn't want to go back and cheeseball the BFA quest, so I actually have my main guy level frozen. There's stuff I haven't played in Guild Wars 2 and all kinds of other stuff. So if I want to do game streaming, the MMOs alone give me plenty of things to catch up on and stuff. And as a recreational game streamer with Play Some Stuff over on Twitch, it's a situation where people want me to just stream games on Twitch, so I do once in a while, but I'm actually one of those people nowadays who the commentators, they get big headaches over because I'm actually being a recreational game streamer. I'm using the platform recreationally. I'm not really interested in growing on Twitch because I know that Twitch has so much baked-in elitism that the brass is probably just going to run everything into the ground that they currently have. They're not going to try and change anything up until something big happens, like a talent exodus or an audience exodus or something like that. But that's really the thing. I mean, you have these channels talking about this might grow your stream on Twitch, that might grow your stream on Twitch. Do this, you might grow on Twitch. You might grow on Twitch. Don't forget to, don't let go of your dream of being a Twitch streamer. And I'm over here like, if you know anything at all about Twitch and the numbers they throw around, you will know very quickly, Twitch doesn't have to grow you on Twitch. And they've been infamous for not supporting smaller creators very well, if at all, for so long that it's a wonder that people even still think this stuff. Why? Why does anybody think that Twitch is going to do anything for them? And this is why I was so fired up. I jokingly responded. I said, welcome to my world. Wake me up when randos on Twitch start calling you Analyst Andy, because people have done that to me before. But Zach kind of took a look at things like hours streamed, hours watched, the stuff I take a look at every quarter. And he was looking mostly at the transparency reports, which is something that Twitch rolled out for the disciplinary action that they did in 2020, as to what the rates were in terms of how they were handling things people reported, like inappropriate content and stuff. YouTube did something similar a while back, where they talked about how they did for the year and stuff along those lines. But at the very same time, we got to keep in mind with Twitch that they don't need, the ruse is alive and well. And keep in mind, we just got done talking about content creator incurvatus in se, our tendency as creators to get wrapped up in what we deal with every single day, that we lose focus and we lose touch with the people out there who don't deal with what we deal with every single day and how they think. Twitch's numbers are incredible for viewers, even if they're incredibly bad for creators. The baked-in elitism that exists on Twitch through their systems and their directory and any focus at all on concurrence, that is unique to Twitch culture, by the way, any focus at all on concurrence basically creates an environment where there is a ton of baked-in elitism. If you're not one of those household name streamers that isn't already known for being a Twitch streamer, forget it. Just forget it. Excuse me. And so, since Zach is kind of wandering into my neck of the woods, I'm going to bring my numbers back up on screen for his audience when they see my little response there to take a look at. Because Zach kind of wandered into my territory here. He's on my turf. But one of the important things is he was looking at Streamlabs for his numbers. Let's put this on screen here. He was looking at Streamlabs for his numbers. And one of the things, let's go to the watch stream ratios. Those are the big ones. One of the things, we're back to good old Excel, huh? Well, one of the things that Zach was mentioning was hours watched, and then he mentioned hours streamed off to the side, and he mentioned he was using Sullynome data. Well, one of the things I looked at Sullynome has a lot of useful data on there, but they do not have hours streamed. They have just the number of streams, which tells me nothing, because the biggest Twitch streamers over there joke about how we're stalling and how much time they waste on stream, because they can. This is one of the fundamental problems with you as a streamer versus the big streamers, is that if you're working a job and streaming part-time, you're automatically at a disadvantage versus the people that are streaming full-time. Because let me just tell you something about these big Twitch streamers. Let's just go back to, let's darken up some of this lighting for a bit, and let's get it real serious here. These Twitch streamers that you think you can be like are rich people who are very good at pretending that they're not as rich as they actually are. And that they're not as pampered as they actually are. And that the system doesn't cater to them as much as it actually does. Think about it. It's part of the ruse. I could be the next ninja. I could be the next Mizkif. No, you can't. No, you can't. You absolutely cannot. Platform won't let you. The system won't let you. And if you look at even some of Zach's numbers on how much of the hours watched is divvied up among the top 1,000 channels on the platform, never mind looking at hours streamed versus hours watched, no, everything is stacked against you. If you're not one of those people, you forget it. Just forget it. It would take a radical rebranding attempt, a radical PR campaign, and some very serious changes on Twitch for that ever to change. And I don't think Twitch wants to do that because what they have is good enough. Yes, those magical 2 words again. Those magical 2 words in multimedia that fundamentally lead to things like DVD never completely disappearing versus Blu-ray and stuff like that. Good enough. The mainstream audience loves what's good enough. That may not necessarily be the best. And in terms of streamers and their entertainment value, the mainstream audience loves streamers that are good enough, even if those streamers are very good at wasting other people's time. Because they have no show flow. And they don't have to have any show flow. They sit pretty with thousands of concurrents at the tops of whatever category they go into. They don't have to plan or strategize or anything. All they have to do, just put the camera on themselves. Just from inertia alone, they have something that you do not. And this is something that those Twitch tubers or whatever don't want to tell you, because you give those people views because you're frustrated about your lack of growth. Why should they tell you that the system is rigged against you? Why should they talk about the technology issues on Twitch? Why should they say that if you're not one of those elite who gets pampered on Twitch, you have no chance, when that kind of bad news will get you to stop watching their videos because, oh, well, guess I can't do it then. See ya. King Europe, thanks for the €5. What does that come out to? Nice. Watching on my TV. Want to thank you for the content. The comment on rich full-time streamers is 100% correct. Indeed, that's the ruse. And you know what? You have to keep that in mind when you're watching. You have to keep that 707 US. Why is the US dollar strong against the euro? I thought it was the other way around or something. Or no, maybe it is the other. Yeah, I'm having a hard time thinking because I'm kind of feeling kind of lousy lately. Probably not going to be able to go to work tomorrow because I'm probably going to be required to stay home and then get tested for COVID because of any similar symptoms, even if it's not. So I was wondering if something like this would happen where I got some kind of regular winter cold and it was treated as badly as if I got the big one. Oh, wait, that's pounds. Oh, that's right. That's why, I wear glasses when I'm not wearing the sunglass thingies. So that's 5 pounds. That makes a lot of sense. Getting my S-looking things mixed up here. Yeah, the Euro one would be a little more rounded, wouldn't it? Shows how stupid I am when it comes to stuff happening on the old continent here. But yeah, that's the thing. These people are rich people. Do the math, even with Twitch's infamous sub-split. That's as terrible as it is. Do the math. Do 2.5. Twitch is, let's just put this, where's the calculator here? Let's put the calculator underneath my picture. It's probably going to get covered up by Winamp later on, but oh well. So why don't we just put it down in the corner? So, let's say somebody has 3,000 subscribers times 2.5. $7,500 a month pre-tax times 12 is $90,000 a year. That's better than numerous good jobs in my neck of the woods. So, let's suppose you get to 4,000 subscribers on Twitch times 2.5. 10,000 times 12 is 6 digits pre-tax. So it's crazy, but you can tell with how nice these people's houses look and stuff, and the fact that they're building houses or have their own house in the first place instead of renting somewhere. It's insane. But yeah, these people are rich. These people are rich, and they're pretending they're not rich because your ability to relate to them is part of what keeps them rich. Just like how with these commentators talking about Twitch growth, the ability, the fact that Twitch is in the dog rubbish state that it's in with stuff like this is the reason, and the deck is stacked against you. The system has so much baked in elitism that you have no chance if you're not one of those household names. None. You might get into like the hundreds or so, but these people riding high, the system is designed to keep them riding high. Look, just go browse any popular game. Look at who's on top most of the time. It'll be somebody that you might have heard of before with thousands of concurrents because they can literally do anything they want on the platform and be close to the top or on top. The end. Do streamers even pay tax on income? I guess it depends on the country and whatnot. But this is one of the problems with some of this success of theirs, is that it's kind of like if they're in business for themselves. So the tax system is a lot more complicated. We're only talking sub revenue here. All of those so-called donations are not really donations in the US. That requires you to be a 501c3 nonprofit and all that funny stuff, all that IRS-y type stuff. So they're technically tips. And depending on which platform you're on, YouTube basically changed a lot of stuff to count as royalties. So you have a situation here where you have all kinds of tax categories instead of just a paycheck with withholding. So undoubtedly it makes for a really complicated tax situation. But I think even after tax, if you're bringing in $130,000 a year versus the warehouse grunt making 30-something thousand, I think you'll still be better off even after taxes. So do you think streaming is a bit of a pyramid scheme in terms of money? I think the ruse of Twitch is that what Twitch is trying to sell you is that you can be that guy with the 5,000 subs. But the truth of the matter is the stars are going to have to align for you to or the 5,000 concurrents. The truth is the stars are going to have to align in order for that to happen, because the system is so biased towards whoever's already the biggest and bringing in the most money. And on YouTube, you could say, well, what about algorithms? On Twitch, they have less algorithms. Just browse through the categories. So this entire discussion is here because Zach Bussey, who's another commentator, broadcasts out of Toronto. He does a daily Live at 5 show on weekdays. He also runs the Creator Hype website, but he's very clearly on the Twitch side of all of this. Not so much on YouTube, not so much of the YouTube side of things. He talks a lot about Twitch type stuff. He was looking at some numbers in their recently released transparency report talking about discipline and things like that. But then we get back to what I've been doing with the Streamlabs quarterlies. This cruncher is something I have that watches the numbers that come out in the Streamlabs quarterlies, and this historical thing shows the ratio of hours watched versus hours streamed. And what you see with this ratio is that YouTube is the clear winner, but part of that reason is because less people are streaming on YouTube because streaming is different on YouTube. Twitch's efforts to promote smaller streamers always seem half-baked and half thought out, intentional, half cooked. You think? I don't want to mix this up again like I mixed up the pound and the euro symbol earlier. But this is the thing, though. It's the more people realize that Twitch has this problem, the more they're going to have to damage control in order to keep people coming in. But maybe they won't. Because the way that Twitch, for example, fixes this ratio is by attracting a lot of people who want to watch streams versus a lot of people who want to actually become streamers. They need people to just watch. That's the only way they get out of this, because the numbers are not on their side. So let's actually, after looking at this for a long time, I decided to carve it up. By the way, for those of you new to this, the dotted line is Mixer before they shut down. So they pretty much tanked themselves because they tried to get big-name creators, which attracted way more streamers than an audience. So they didn't grow the site enough to give their streamers an audience, to give all their streamers a good audience, Twitch take notice. Twitch has been stuck down here, and the red line is YouTube, the blue is Facebook, which due to UI issues, data had to start at these various years instead of going back as far as Twitch does due to major changes in the UI. And green is a combination of Facebook and YouTube if you want a double stream, because the two competing platforms with Twitch don't have the same stuffy exclusivity. But even then, hey, thanks for stopping by, King Europe. And even then, despite all of this, I still don't recommend multi-streaming, because one-size-fits-all approach to these platforms puts you at risk of maybe some disciplinary action depending on what type of stuff you make. You may run into a situation where something's okay for YouTube but not okay for Twitch, as some YouTubers have found out when they landed themselves in an indefinite suspension because they didn't know that certain things on Twitch are a lot stricter than they are on YouTube. So, or the Twitch might be more prone to human error with mistakes or whatnot, or they train their workforce differently, or there's more favoritism. Some dumb little detail has spelled the end of some YouTubers on Twitch not getting further than Twitch affiliate because of an indefinite suspension. And I don't know about you, but I found YouTube's customer service people to be a heck of a lot more responsive. Even just Twitter alone, Team YouTube versus Twitch support. I've gotten responses from Team YouTube before, multiple times. Twitch support, I don't think they've responded to me even once. So it's just the differences in the platforms. Twitch is a lot smaller than YouTube. The only thing they really have going for them is streaming, which will turn into a competitive disadvantage if YouTube and Twitch get big enough. Question is, are they? So let's split this out. I decided, this is a nice chart and everything. It's nice numbers. Keep an eye on how this ratio is going and just how top-heavy Twitch is. But when you split it out to look at the size of the platforms themselves, here's the audience growth, hours watched over time. And we see that Twitch benefited the most out of all the platforms from the 2020 lockdowns. So they did incredibly well. YouTube has had consistent, steady growth, but they're still smaller, substantially smaller, as a streaming platform. Plus, they have UI issues holding back some of this, as myself and other folks have opined on. And Facebook kind of, Facebook kind of, did this in 2020. But this is the hours watched. This is the size of the audience in terms of the hours watched on the platform, irrespective of number of people, number of computers, whatever it is. And here is the hours streamed. The worst in terms of you, as somebody who's not already established on Twitch, having a reason to not take Twitch seriously. If something happens, fine, but for so many people, it's not. I think one of the points that Zach brought up that I liked the most was talking about how half the hours watched went to the top 1,000 channels. So literally everybody else, and there are tons of channels on Twitch, with how successful they've been at selling this dream of being a streamer. So you have 1,000 channels with similar hours watched to literally the entire, or whatever the number was. The top people have a similar amount of hours watched versus the entire rest of the channels on the website. And I can tell you, the reason why this is happening is because Twitch has a lot less technology. And there's, as much as you may hate algorithms on YouTube, see, I gotta mute this tab here. Oh, it is muted. Okay. As much as you may hate algorithms on YouTube, the algorithms are probably your best hope at anything if you understand what YouTube's trying to do. They're your best hope at literally anything in order to not be like Twitch. Some people say that you can go on Twitch and play a game that not everybody else is playing, and you can get discoverability that way. Yeah, but you're still going to advance more slowly. I mean, I got Twitch affiliate largely by playing games that nobody else was playing, so people could find out about me and tune in. But you're talking like one person into retro games, because I'm the only one playing Super Mario Kart on the Super Nintendo. How much of waiting for people to stop by and say hi are you willing to do? And how much will you creep up to 50 concurrents, 100 concurrents, 1,000 concurrents, and keep your audience together in case you get the random person that only likes like Word Tris on the Super Nintendo or some obscure game that you played to get discovered, but as it turns out, the games you're picking afterwards, they're not helping you any. So let's actually take a look at, let's actually see, is the regular browser hooked up? But this is the ruse right here. Look at all of these streamers. Look at all the hours streamed. Actually, no, this is not actually hours streamed. It's hours streamed. It's not the number of streamers. One of the things the big guys do is they waste time on purpose because they can. They don't have jobs or commitments or anything. So 14 hours a day of GTA or something. And they're constantly, leaving nothing on the screen for 10 minutes because, they go to use the bathroom or something, or they order food. They're ordering out every single day, and they make so much money, it doesn't matter that they're doing DoorDash every single night. I mean, it's just they are, bottom line, they're in a better position than you will ever be if you're not already one of them. You're showing up with still having a job, family, etc., and you can only stream like 4 hours a week or something. And live streaming is so horrendously dependent upon people catching you live, the way Twitch has it set up, that, it's just, there is no path forward. Twitch should be nothing more than recreational game streaming, or whatever streaming, unless it becomes something bigger. You really need an artist mentality to take Twitch seriously. You have to believe, look, there's something that I want to contribute to the world, and I'll just be glad if it exists, regardless of whether anybody likes it. That's really the mentality you have to have, because look at this. This should actually scare Twitch, because everybody benefited from what happened in 2020, but look at what happened with YouTube. Audience growth, steady growth. But people backed off on streaming in the second half of the year over on YouTube. So YouTube is persistently growing without saturating the living daylights out of their streaming scene with 50 bazillion wannabe streamers. And I think some of it has to do with people don't understand that short term, the algorithms won't help you get started. Long term, when stuff gets picked up and passed around because the systems know that you're known for making a certain amount of content and you become more binge watch friendly, like what happened with my computer videos. It took years, but it finally started happening in like 2016 or so. But the systems are slow, but they eventually do stuff for you. And you eventually end up with a passive income and people interested in what specifically you're doing. Although it does boil down to demographics, like what I've talked about, like the difference between the people that like my tech videos and the people that like the videos about the washer and dryer. A lot of differences between them. But this should bother the heck out of Twitch, because while people are waking up to this thing that, everybody wants to be a Twitch streamer and nobody's going to be successful except the people who are already successful, because the system, unless it's radically changed to use a lot more algorithms than hierarchies, is never going to turn away from them. Yeah. At the same time, here's YouTube, steady growth since Q3 2019 in terms of hours watched, but without slamming the heck out of the number of streamers in terms of hours streamed. Because YouTube is pretty good for the streaming as an extension of something else. If you think about what you're making and what you make each type of whatever it is, you start to think, as I have. I mean, I tried to become a streamer last year, but the more I got into like the radio style summer and stuff, the more I got into that, the more that I realized there were things that I was doing that would, in streams, off the cuff, that would be better off edited into videos. And of course, in the years leading up to being able to start streaming, I probably had some videos that would have been better off as live streams, mostly on the gaming side of things. If I'm not doing like a how-to guide on how to do a specific build in Elder Scrolls Online or something like that, if I'm just documenting my progression in MMOs or something, that's better off done as streams. No gimmicks or anything. Maybe make a highlights video if something looks interesting enough to do that. But for the most part, it is what it is. Maybe someone will watch it, but the bottom line is the video footage exists. And I can look back and say, oh yeah, I remember when I first got level 50 as a paladin in Final Fantasy or something. So, yeah, so that's why we got the watch stream ratios that we have today. YouTube is growing as a streaming platform without saturating the living daylights out of the streaming scene. It's just that there's a lot of people talking about the algorithms and getting some false or misinformation or whatever impressions of them. So when Zach wanders into my neck of the woods and he talks about how top-heavy Twitch is, I'm like, duh. But there's really no reason for Twitch to change, and it's because of this. If we don't get too obsessed with ourselves as creators, we have to consider the harsh reality that the largest streaming platform in existence is far better for viewers than it is for fledgling creators who aren't already big. If you're trying to find something to watch, which are the people that Twitch will serve ads to, you have plenty of choices. Take, for example, my recent disappointment with the OTKs and the KIRLs on the Twitch streaming side. Once again, Twitch streamers very often represent the most negative elements of my involvement in online media, the stuff I tend to dislike the most. Once again, but while I was not watching entire scenes of streamers, I was actually using the underused browse tool on Twitch and finding, oh, this person looks interesting, let's see what they're doing. That's when I realized I'd probably be a lot happier with a lot of channels with like hundreds of concurrents, maybe, that stream healthier amounts of time than the people barreling away 14 hours with thousands of concurrents. Wider variety of people, personalities, attitudes, approaches to streaming, styles, the whole 9 yards. And so if I'm upset with someone, just watch someone else. That's really the thing. Saw a wider variety of styles when I was staying away from the people I would watch all the time. And that was one heck of a lesson. As more people learn this lesson, then we might see people doing better in terms of not being upset about something some streamer is doing or getting embroiled in drama or something along those lines. But this right here is the reason why Twitch doesn't have to change. They have their people. So what would it take? I mean, let me actually load up the other browser here. I'm in the browse category. Let's see here. Let's go to Avast Secure. Is it going to link automatically? No, of course not. Let's link up Avast Secure here for specifically the categories on Twitch. Who are the biggest people? Who's at the top? Remember, the more scrolling, the more clicking, the harder it is to find you. So here's the popular games right now. FIFA has 77 grand. We're doing viewers high to low. Actually, this isn't the best way to do this. Get out of my account. Hold on. Let's use Microsoft Edge. Twitch.tv/directory. Let me take that and actually open up. I have Microsoft Edge programmed to blank itself out every single time I close it. So it's a generic random person on the internet browsing experience. So it literally nukes itself every single time I close it. Let me go in as, I can turn the dark theme on, close the browser. And if I reopen the browser, it'll go back to light mode, right? Because this thing's designed to just blank itself out every single time. Yep, I'm back to light mode. So let's turn on dark mode once again. And let's look at what Twitch looks like in the Microsoft Edge scene. Let's look at what Twitch looks like, Microsoft Edge. Not linked. Well, let's link it up. See, all categories, Twitch, profile 1, the generic profile 1. So here we are with a heavily cropped thing left over for some React segments I did a long time ago. We can fix that easily, though. Alt. All the way up, all the way up, all the way over, and all the way over. Let's just take the title bar out. Let's just nuke the title bar, so to speak. Or you leave it in there. Twitch.tv/directory. Microsoft Edge. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to Twitch when you don't know anything about the platform. Join the Twitch community. This is the newbie experience. Sort by recommended for you, so there are algorithms that are doing stuff based on stuff other than the number of viewers. That's an improvement from Twitch's traditional focus on things. But who are they recommending to me? Saikuno, know the name from Among Us, 27,000 concurrents. Clicks with Fortnite, a Fortnite streamer. Shroud, Nick A30, Tifu, heard of him. Hassan, heard of him, playing GTA. Justa Minx, yep, heard of her. EMAD, Swag, and LCS, a League of Legends event of some sort with 117,000 concurrents. So you're new to Twitch, you're setting everything up and whatnot, and this is what you have to work with. This is what you get introduced to. This is what's at the top. This is what the algorithms are passing around. Hey, look, Minecraft, not even the biggest category on Twitch, is numero uno. Who's the biggest? Bam, 11 grand, thousands of concurrents, a couple of people with hundreds of concurrents. You as the starting streamer are going to be where in this category? How much scrolling am I going to have to do just to find you? So yeah, you're buried. If you're not being explicitly promoted, you're being explicitly buried. Where have I said that before? Oh yeah, YouTube many years ago. Just Chatting, which has some restrictions due to security issues I found out recently, thanks to the folks who pointed it out in the comments sections. I didn't even know about the investigation in terms of COPPA and child safety with Just Chatting, but you can't actually sort Just Chatting low to high as a result of that investigation. But I'm not even going to click that because I want to see 50 bazillion hot tub streams or whatever. But I can tell you the people that top Just Chatting are the people that would pretty much top any other one of these categories. Fortnite, who's the biggest Fortnite streamer? 49 grand, 7.9 grand, 11 grand. These are people with thousands of concurrents, couple of people with hundreds of concurrents. So Fortnite's out. Valorant, who's the biggest? Sykkuno at 27 grand, Fusely 6.9 grand, people with thousands of concurrents. We don't even have somebody with hundreds of concurrents here. So you're playing all these popular games that everybody's watching, and the people that are the biggest will always have dibs on the tops of the directories so that more people are going to find them, and they're not going to find you zero viewer Andy. So there you go. The baked-in elitism because of one thing and one thing only. The fact that there is a directory that does anything based on high to low. And actually, YouTube has this issue too. It's just a little more nebulous. If I get out of my Microsoft Edge so it blanks itself out, and I open it back up, youtube.com, and I get a generic YouTube that, and it's like, hey, and it tells me, hey, get Google Chrome. And there's someone sitting on the toilet, okay, recommended to me when I first get started. Okay, some weird algorithm thing there. What do I have on here without showing it because of the goofball thumbnail here? It's called Genius Inventions You Didn't Know Existed. So, oh, it's somebody. Oh, okay. Yeah, so, right. So we have Pawn Stars TV show, Relax Cafe Music, Smooth Jazz and Bossa Nova, a Gordon Ramsay video, and some creator content from really popular channels, and some commercial content from the world of television and music. So it takes a little more effort for me to find game streams. If I go to live, the first thing I get is House of Highlights, $100,000 Knockout Royale. HOH? What game is that? Well, there's a Call of Duty thing with 95,000 concurrents that is the first live now listed. So if I look for gaming specifically, I can do that. What if I go to just YouTube Gaming directly instead of straight to live? And just close the side menu on this generic thing. All right. Call of Duty Black Ops Cold War, 46,000 watching worldwide. Fortnite has 37,000 concurrents worldwide. League of Legends, Grand Theft Auto, etc. But let's go to Fortnite, or no, let's go to League of Legends. Who's going to be shown? Well, I think this says it all right here, but actually sorted by most viewers in your region. This is where it gets interesting, because here's what the algorithms could do to Twitch. Twitch is a tab for all streamers live with the option to filter by recommended for you. That's the kicker with that one too, is that these platforms are good at what they do, but they're trying a little of what the other one does. Here's Fortnite. No. We're in Microsoft Edge. Yeah, we got to link it back up. So let's link Edge back up. This thing blanks out every time I close it. Here's League of Legends on YouTube, and we see more of a mix. So you have LCS with 52,000 concurrents, in esports with 649, 182, so there's a wider range of folks here. Based on your subscriptions in history, I get some, because I'm here and I've looked at League of Legends stuff, I'm getting some KDA videos and things along those lines. But what we see here is maybe a lot more wasted space. Yeah, I see a lot more wasted space here versus what Twitch has, which is one of the UI decisions that YouTube is getting held back by. Way too much wasted space there. But Twitch being top heavy, of course it is. Why don't we actually check out all streamers live with the option to filter by recommended. Problem is I'm going in with a emptied out browser. I'm going in with an emptied out Microsoft Edge browser to see what the new person or whoever who's discovering Twitch is going to find. And I'm getting a just chatting stream already auto-playing. See, browse. Let's check the menu here. The problem is general about advertisers, blog developers, download apps, gift card, jobs, loot cave, music. Let's go to browse. How about live channels? So it's an extra click. Filter by search tags. It auto defaults to recommended for you. And what exactly do we have? Let's see here. What we have is another reason to relink it. Let's get this all set here. Top channels. Here's the top channels, but it doesn't look all that much different. Now, you might get algorithms if you watch a lot of stuff, but it's going to take a while for that to show up. For the masses who aren't already involved with Twitch, here's what you see. Saikuno, Clicks, Shroud, Nick, 30, Tifu, Hassan, Justaminx, Emad, Swag, LCS, etc., and some other names that I've heard of before, but all people with thousands of concurrents. So when Zach comes out and he says, oh, Twitch is top heavy, I'm like, you think? I mean, on YouTube, I saw more of a wide variety of different sizes. So I find it interesting that, well, the robots can do their thing, but there are some UI things that are holding back the directories as we've seen. Too much wasted space, too many attempts to put everything into horizontal categories, not enough just, do you want, show people stuff to watch. But hey, it only takes a redesign for that to get better. And that's really the name of the game when it comes to YouTube streaming anyways, and in terms of how to get better at it, how YouTube can do better. So if I open up my side menu and I see subscriptions and the live people, I can only see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 streams algorithmically chosen based on what I've been interested in more recently. But how do I find out these people are streaming in the first place? That's the answer here. And that's where you get into videos and putting stuff in the algorithm for people to come find you without them finding you by watching a 9-hour stream replay of something you did in League of Legends the other night. So it's just like, especially if you have a 15-minute start soon screen at the beginning, the bounce rate's probably through the roof on that kind of stuff. But that's really the issue. That's really the issue with all of this here, is that you have this sort of thing where, yeah, everything's top heavy. And why should Twitch change? Why should they? Why should they do anything differently? So Zach can say whatever he wants on all this, but I don't see any reason for Twitch to change at all because they get the money from the people at the top. What would it take to get those people to leave when Twitch is the biggest streaming platform and these people have bought into the ruse that being a streamer is, oh yeah, it works as being a content creator. Well, what they have works up to that point. But if more of these people nerded things out a bit more and they looked at videos versus streams, they'd probably have some different attitudes because they realize there are some things that videos are better at than streams will ever be. But who's going to do that? If they already make enough money to be rich off of just pointing a camera at themselves for 14 hours a day, why should they change? And if they stick around Twitch, why should Twitch change? So why should the ruse even stop? You can find people to watch very easily. If you want to be a streamer, though, forget it. We've gone over this and we've looked at the origin stories of so many of these streamers. Many of them are not people that did what people think you should do on Twitch with Twitch grinding. Many of them are not the people that are in these groups on Twitter that are like, oh yeah, drop your stream links here. Yeah, because people who want to watch stuff on Twitch are going to go to Twitter for it, right? Unless they already know about the group for like supporting small streamers or something. And then when you look like just about everybody out there who's trying to stream, who should watch you? That's all part of the bag of goods. It's all part of what's being sold. And quite frankly, more people need to wake up to this. And that's all I have to say to that. Yeah, what a discussion, right? But what would it take? What would it really take for Twitch to change? They need a lot less people watching. So the problem is, though, their biggest creators represent such a large chunk of the hours watched The only way that's going to happen is if a lot of creators leave, a lot of bigger streamers leave. And if they're already getting preferential treatment with discipline and this, that, or the other, and they're already getting all kinds of goodies for sticking around and doing what they're doing, they have no reason to change, and Twitch has no reason to change. It would take the audience not watching those big streamers anymore for things to change, and unless there's some coordinated effort representing nearly 18 billion watch hours in 2020, unless there's a coordinated effort for the 18 billion watch hours in 2020, you're not going to get anywhere with that. So it's just inertia, and Twitch has this on their side. Look at some more of this feedback here. People who prefer to be live are different to people who prefer to edit. It's kind of the difference between an actor and a director. It's because of your background more than anything else. A lot of people view YouTube editing as a chore until you realize that you will have an edge over the streamers if you're doing, say, conceptual stuff. You're talking about a topic or something, and you don't have to wing it when you're live. The point with all these streamers, though, and these big streamers, is that they don't have to care. They already have everything. They're already on top of an entire platform. Unless the platform goes rogue, which probably won't happen in nearly all cases. Why should they? That's the thing. And all of this was inspired by Zach Bussey's discussion on how Twitch is top-heavy. Yup, they have no reason to not be top-heavy. It would take a cataclysmic event on Twitch for that ever to change, and I don't see that happening anytime soon. So for now, the ruse can stay alive. The ruse can stay alive, it's just that less people need to fall for it. Now, people need to wake up to the fact that Twitch is not really what you think it is when you're getting started. Nor should it be. I mean, stream recreationally, but there's just no reason for Twitch to do anything better. They have what they need. The household streamers have what they need. Everybody has what they need. So just because you're part of the marginalized group, so to speak, of smaller creators that can't find any traction on the platform, doesn't mean anything has to change. That is the ugly reality. Twitch is top-heavy, and I expect it to stay that way for who knows how long. I'm just not going to be fooled by it. Till next time, this is MultimediaJay signing off. Thanks for stopping by.